Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. My name's Bobby, and this is how I grow orchids and carnivorous plants. Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. So today we have an unboxing video. I got some orchids from Tarzane Group. Tarzane Group is out of Florida again. You've probably seen me unbox orchids from them before. They are one of my favorites. I get lots and lots of plants from these guys. They are really nice guys. We'll get a little bit more into that a little bit later. But I'm really excited about this order. It did take an extra day to come, but it's absolutely not the Tarzane Group's fault. For some reason, FedEx, USPS, everybody yesterday had like a freeze. Things went nuts, and everything that I was supposed to have delivered yesterday, or people that I know as well, everything got bumped today. So we're going to take a look at it. I do have some plants that kind of like intermediate and cool conditions in here. I'm a little bit nervous, but we're going to go ahead and see. It looks awesomely packaged, as always. So let's just dive in. So, got the box all opened up, got the invoice here, we'll throw that away, and we're going to get these plants out. Awesomely packaged again, lots of fluff, lots of goodness protecting our plants every time we order from them. All the fluff. Okay, so we're back. We've got everything unboxed. Now let's get into it and see what these plants look like. I can already tell you right now, I'm happy. So, this right here, we're actually going to set aside. It's like, we're going to do that one last. I've been watching a lot of Lynn Smith's channel and a lot of mixed masdevallias and all these people who grow so many lovely masdevallias, and I always have envy because I've had such terrible luck with them. So two of these plants are masdevallias. This one's our first plant. This is Masdevallia Garcia, and we're going to go ahead and tear right into this thing. Beautifully packaged as well. Always. Such care is put into these plants. Look at that. Wow. So, Masdevallia Garcia. I'll probably borrow a picture from the Tarzane Group of this plant so I can throw it up and show you what it should look like. But as you see, beautiful, healthy Masdevallia. The moss needs a good watering, but that is to be expected. It definitely spent an extra day in transit, so that's going to be our next step. As always, we'll take it in there and I'll show you guys the first watering. We have one yellowed leaf, but everything else looks pretty healthy, pretty happy, and I'm very, very content with that right now, especially because it's been an extra day in the mail. So that's Masdevallia Garcia, and I will set that to the side and we'll go on to our next one. I already peeled the tape. I've learned my lesson, so we can go right into it. Again, beautifully packaged. I love the cups. Oh, it's a little warm. We have 90-degree weather here as well, so Always nervous. I knew it was a risk though. You'd think I'd learn, but I never do. Awesome plant. It's so small. Look at that little guy. How cool is that? Awesome. It's in clay, so that actually probably helped the roots stay a little bit cooler. You know what they say, clay pots supposedly always help cool living plants in a warmer environment, so that's great. This is Masdevallia venatoria, and this is another one I had to have. It's real small, but the blooms on this thing are spectacular. I will throw a picture up again. Masdevallia venatoria. A delightful miniature, and you already know where this plant is going to live. This is definitely going in the tank. I will probably try this in the tent, and we're gonna try to see what we can do with them. But worst case scenario, I'm sure I can make that fit in the tank somewhere. It's not too big, but this one is definitely going to be bound for tank life. So excited for that. 2 for 2, guys. All right. On to our next. I had to buy Panties. You guys already know I'm obsessed. I have to have every one I can find that I can make work for my environment. Having that said, I've been looking at this plant, admiring this plant in other people's collection for a long time, and I finally found it, of course, at Tarzane. They have probably the best selection of Panties that you're going to find in the States, and the prices are pretty reasonable. I've seen a lot more crazy prices for Panties other places. So if you're a species collector like I am, and you're into those sort of plants, I cannot recommend Tarzane Group enough for broadening your collection and finding some of these really otherwise tough to find plants. Beautifully packaged. Again, the care that goes into the packaging of these plants is always mind-blowing to me. Oh my gosh, in bloom. What do you know? Guys, wow. So this is Panties Guatemalan Cysts. And again, I have been after this plant for quite a while. I'll throw a pic up of the blooms because this is going to be really difficult to see. But it did come in bloom. How about that, with buds on and spikes on. Healthy growing plant, little mount. Again, you know exactly where this plant is going already, so this is another one bound for tank life. And that is Panties Guatemalan Cysts. Definitely need some water. Not crispy dried, but definitely glad I got them today. Alright, let me clear this stuff out of the way. Okay, so we are on to the last plant. This plant is actually, believe it or not, the plant that provoked this entire order. This is 150,000% a Pretty Bloom's must-have plant. I didn't care how it grew, really. I was going to figure out a way to get it. It's got a bloom to me that looks kind of like if a kiwi and a strawberry had a love child, and then it was reincarnated into an orchid. Exactly what the bloom would look like. So, having that said, let's get this thing out of here. Oh, I lost the tag. So, another beautifully packaged plant that looks like it's still in good shape, thankfully. This right here is Cymbidiella rhodochyla. This is a plant from Madagascar, and again, I'm going to have to steal a picture from you guys to throw up on here because this bloom is just spectacular. Again, kiwi strawberry love child with an orchid, I promise you. So, having that said, a beautiful plant. It's got 3 growths on. It's got a pot with roots in it, which is off. Oh, jeez, look at that. A pot full of roots. My gosh. And this plant definitely needs some water, but it's definitely in fantastic shape. This is not a small plant. It does get rather large over time. So it's going in a tent, cold to warm grower, so no problems there. It's kind of like a cymbidium. You can treat it, so supposedly you can treat it like a cymbidium, and this is my first plant that's kind of in that realm, so I'm extremely excited to have it in my collection. Gonna have to come out of the moss somehow. That's gonna be quite the video for us. We'll have to do an amputation of this pot, so wow, look at that. I mean, that's awesome. Anyhow, this is Cymbidiella rhodokyla, and we're going to take all 4 of these plants into the room, and we're going to go ahead and give them their first watering and go from there. So give you guys a better look at them. Okay, so we're here with the plants in the room, and again, I'm very, very excited, but they're very desperately thirsty, and we are going to go ahead right away and we are going to quench that thirst. None of these plants should be this dry right now. This is just clean water for now. We're just going to give that one a nice soak because that one was probably the driest. That pot full of moss definitely needs to rehydrate. But everything else is taking the water in real nicely, and I'm sure they're very, very appreciative little plants right now. I'm going to get them moved in to where they're going to be for now in just a few minutes here, but I figure I'll just take the camera off the base and we're going to go ahead and take a little bit closer look at each plant just so you can see what we're working with, and we'll go from there. I figured why not start off with the one that's in bloom. This is Panties Guatemalan Cysts, and as you guys can see, yes, it does have a bloom. Actually 2 blooms, how about that? So that's going to be a really neat one, another nice addition to the collection. It really projects out, it spikes quite nicely and presents them nicely, and so many of them I have are ones you got to kind of look for, so it's always going to be nice to have a Panties that really wants to present itself and show itself quite nicely. So Panties Guatemalan Cysts. This is a warm to cool grower. Another, oh, let me get this thing turned around, goodness. It's a warm to cool grower. Another awesome thing that Tarzane does is they have really neat tags. They have a picture of the bloom and lots of good information on there for you. So, warm to cool grower, bright shade conditions, and this plant will be happy in some decently high humidity. Moving up just a bit, this is our lovely, oh I forget, Masdevallia venatoria. It's another one. It's cold to intermediate. It likes bright shade, but you can get a little sense of the blooms on that thing. But it's a cool little miniature with a creeping rhizome. It's got new growth on it. Really healthy looking little plant, and I'm just super excited to have it in my collection and to see if I can get it to grow. You're gonna have to rest with your tag. So this here is the Cymbidiella rhodokyla. Go up a little bit and up a little bit. This is going to be a real big plant one day, I feel, I hope. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, if I'm going to leave this mounted, leave this potted, or if it's going to end up on a mount. You guys know how much I love to mount orchids, so this is another really neat one. Cold to warm grower from Madagascar. It likes bright light, so it's going to live somewhere and we're going to find a place for it here in just a few. It's definitely staying in this pot for the night, but I cannot wait to see how this thing goes. It's an awesome looking plant. And finally, our thirsty creature, we're going to pull it out. This is Baliya Garcia. Oop. Again, cold to warm grower, likes bright shade, and really neat blooms. Really excited to see something. It's got multiple blooms per spike. It's one of those. It's my first one like that. And again, really healthy plant, happy plant. New growths coming all over the place. I don't know if you can see that down in there. I'll just kind of spin it around a little bit. New growths all over the place, and I think it looks pretty good. I think it only had that one leaf that might have gotten a little bit exhausted in the heat, but other than that, another really happy plant. I'm going to let it soak for just a few more minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and put all four of these plants away. How about that? So we're here in the tank, down in the very bottom, and this is where we found a home for our Baliya venatoria. It's going to be happy down here. It gets nice and foggy when the mist machine kicks on and creates the clouds in the bottom, and they swirl all up through everything and make everything really nice. So it should be real happy down there. It stays cooler down here, and that's where it's going to grow for now at least. It's probably going to go on a mount, and it's probably going to get stuck somewhere down here in the shady depths and get a nice cool spot. So that's that, and moving on up just above our Lipan and right next to our Panties mariposa, we're going to have our Guatemalan Cysts. It's going to be a nice show from the front of the tank. It's right front and center, so we're going to have a whole bunch of yellow flowers hanging out there real soon, hopefully. And it's going to look really nice with our orange friends and our red friends and our other yellow friends and things that just love to be out all the time. So another wonderful addition to the Panties jungle, the cloud forest tank, and I am just thrilled. So let's move on over to the tent and let's see where our other two plants ended up. So the Baliya Garcia we have up here on a top shelf near our novelty phals and our mini phals. It's getting really bright artificial light right now. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Hopefully it's not too much, but it's not. It's really off at a drastic angle from my light, so we're going to see what happens. The reason I did that is because it has this fan below it, and though I don't want a constant breeze on this, it would be kind of nice to have one under the pot circulating air since it's in all moss. So hopefully it creates a nice aerobic environment and we don't have to worry about nasties moving in and the amount of time that it stays in this pot or in full moss. And it'll also hopefully help provide a cooling effect for the roots, being that they're going to be moist. So that's the Baliya Garcia, and that's where it's going to live for now. It might move down a shelf with the dendrocolumns. It might make more sense down there, but I don't want it to block too much light out of some of the other shady growers down even below that even farther. So for right now, this is going to be the ticket, and we're going to see how it does. And panning right over to our beautiful Maxillaria tenuifolia, who's put out its fourth bloom. Right above that, sorry, we had to take a detour. We have our brand new Cymbidiella rhodocala, and I chose that spot because it likes bright light. I don't know what it's going to do in my sun yet. It might get moved over closer to the window, but for now it's going to grow right here next to the tenuifolia and the bulbophylla maximum, and it's going to have a lot of bright artificial light and really bright indirect light through the shade cloth and through the window for just a couple hours in the morning. So those are the 4 plants I got from Tarzane. Again, I'm really excited about this plant. I really love it, and this was actually the reason for the order. I just got the other ones because I really did have to have them. So I do have one more thing I want to talk about, but I'm going to go ahead and set the tripod up, and we'll take a nice look at everything in here real quick while I discuss something really special for you guys. That's my video for today. That's my unboxing and all my awesome new orchids from the Tarzane Group. I really hope you guys stuck in here until the end, because I have something extremely special for you guys. I've been talking with Tarzane Group here for about a month, off and on. Again, I cannot tell you what nice people they are and how generous and how enthusiastic they are about the orchid community and providing great customer service to all of us orchid collectors and any of their customers. So I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys, thank you guys, thank you guys. And this is what the Tarzane Group and I have kind of come up with together, but really this is all them. They had absolutely no obligation to do this, and that's why it's just a testament to their generosity and the awesome customer service they provide. But they have provided me with an exclusive coupon code for Cloud Forest Vibes channel for you guys to use until September, and I'm going to go ahead and throw that up on the screen here now. But all of you guys can use it. It's going to get you 10% off of your next order or any order that you choose to do from Tarzane Group. And I cannot stress to you enough how awesome they are, how awesome the plants are, and how thrilled you'll be if you do take the leap and check these guys out. Again, they're really humble, they're really awesome, and they really do just want to provide awesome orchids to us enthusiasts and collectors and people like us who grow these kind of plants. Having that said, they switch up their line regularly. They have a ton of plants, they really do, and you guys really need to check them out if you haven't already. That is tarzaneorchids.com. Again, please check it out, give it a shot, and you'll get 10% off your order. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, happy growing and happy Cloud Forest vibes.